Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
One of the most fantastic things about a long weekend where you don't travel or, do trips. And I know there's a lot of travel during Labor Day weekend. There was. So if you're just getting back, that's bumpy. But for us, me and Murph, you either, Sam, you didn't jump out of the airplane. We didn't go anywhere. We just had a long weekend at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic because it just feels like such freedom. But you literally can come back to work and back to life and go, what happened? Like, where did it? I had to think to myself this morning, what did we do this weekend?
How did 3 days go by?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to go back and play it in my head like a movie. And it was really lovely. But because we had no plans. I mean, to watch a game, yes, we had that. I knew what time and exact that. Yeah. But no plans. Do you remember what we did Friday night, Murphy? Because I do.
Actually, I don't.
I know you don't. So
Sorry. I mean, it must have not been that memorable, or was
it?
You should have stopped at no, I don't.
What did we do Friday night?
I picked up, first of all, Friday afternoon, I picked up my mom and took her shopping.
Oh, that's right. We went out to dinner with her.
And I brought her to the house, and she hung around at the house for a little while.
That's why you blocked it out.
Yeah. That's
And
weird.
we took
I forgot.
my mom to dinner.
I completely, and it's no disrespect to her. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good dinner, too.
Well, I think it's beautiful that we're having to figure it out because it just means that we stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped being so planny and scheduled. And I think that's good for the heart and soul.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was impromptu because honestly, with her, getting her out of the house, taking her shopping, just spending time with her, I didn't even know if she would want to go to dinner. I said, would you like to go to dinner with us too? And she was like, well, we'll see how I feel. And so she wanted to. It was like, to me, that was a bonus. I was glad she wanted to do it. And then Saturday, we tried to sleep in. The dogs don't let me sleep in, sort of a thing. I think you got lost in rabbit holes on your computer. Yes, you did.
On Saturday?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember that either.
We also did. You did a little bit, but we did get out for one thing Saturday. We went to Phoebe's boyfriend Stuart's his goodbye farewell sort of lunch.
Oh, okay. Going away to college?
He's going away to college.
I forgot about that too. What's
wrong
with me?
I know. Because it's one of these weekends where you didn't plan. That's the beauty of it, except that when you can't remember, I mean, at the coffee pot at work, if somebody goes, how was your weekend? It's like, I don't know.
I want
It's a thing. It's a real phenomenon.
I want to talk about something else with a 3-day weekend.
Yes, Sam.
When are we going to put that in place?
I know. It's the best.
Because I don't think about it until we have a 3-day weekend. And when I do,
You
it's
mean
like,
in the United States?
yeah, 4-day work week, 3-day
Right.
weekend.
Right.
It'll probably never happen.
It'll
but
never
it's
happen.
Like, when we have a 3-day weekend, it's just you just feel so refreshed, like that extra day did something.
There are people that create it for themselves. There are certain professions that they don't work on Friday.
Yeah.
Period. But, Murphy, you're the one who has to address this. Do you think it'll ever happen in the United States?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because it's a workforce thing. It's a, how do you, it's the same reason that we talked about, like EMTs wind up being scheduled on 12 or any profession that winds up getting 12 on, the 12 on, 12 off, or the, 12 and 12-hour days and then 4 off or whatever. I mean, there's any
Shift
combo
work.
of that, right? There are certain professions where it's just difficult to, to staff that. But I mean, I don't think that's ever going to work in America because we're not built like that. And then if it becomes a 3-day weekend constantly, then it's not special anymore. Hey, but I think Jodi's right. In the professions that can choose it and they do that,
do it for themselves.
There are counselors, there are hair businesses that do that. There are restaurants. Well, I guess there are restaurants that they'll work through the weekend and some are closed on Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
For me, when I think about it, I think about doctors. I've known doctors like our pediatrician. I mean, I learned early on that he wasn't in the office on Friday. Now, did he work a 10, 12-hour day, Monday through Thursday? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
He did, and he earned that. If he it was his practice. It was a private practice, and it was his practice, and there was never any, oh, my gosh, he's not in the office, on Friday. Good for him. He worked his life that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I like the 3. I feel more, Sam, ready for a work week, for a 4-day work week after a 3-day weekend.
Of course you do, because it's only 4 days.
No, it's not just that it's only 4. It's I feel rested.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the time that I needed and that it still flew, even without being able to put the puzzle pieces together. You know?
So which day should it be then?
Yeah.
So should it be Friday or should it be Monday?
Does it matter?
I mean, I don't know. Does it?
Maybe Monday.
Because they're like dentist offices, doctor's offices. There's some people that do take
Friday.
You know, counselors that take Friday off. Friday's the logical day. It's not the beginning of the week, so I guess it would be Friday.
Then
would be
would Tuesday then take on the Monday feel?
Or,
if you had
or
Monday
Thursday
off.
can take on the Friday feel.
Right.
Yeah. Thursday's always been fantastic to me anyway, because I know the Friday feeling's coming.
I think for me, mentally, it would be Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like the Monday off.
Yeah. Well, it's America. We won't agree, so.
Oh, that's funny. And you said hair places like salons, Murphy, you mean salons, but they work on Saturdays hard and heavy. I mean, salons are often busy on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a Sunday,
So they're still
Monday.
taking
They have a 2-day
They're still
weekend.
taking 2-day weekend.
We
Yeah,
have friends who run a specialty gourmet food shop, you know, Ginger and Chris, and they are open Tuesday through Saturday. Saturday is one of their busiest days.
Yeah.
I popped in there Saturday, and so they're off. They're always off Sunday and Monday. So they have their weekend. It's just shifted.
So let me ask you this, Murphy. You can decide for everybody.
Oh, great. That's
Murphy's
pressure.
our manager.
Well, you mentioned, if we have 3-day weekends, then there goes the 3-day weekend. But do we get to keep a 4-day weekend?
When there's
that's
a
the
holiday?
case? Yeah.
Of course.
Wait, I'm asking Murphy.
Well, why would there be? I mean, if Labor Day is one day of the week and it's that, I don't know. That's a good question.
See, I wanted to weigh in that, you get a holiday still.
I mean, I don't know how that would work. That would be a good question.
That's why we'd make it Friday, because that way a lot of these extra holidays are on Mondays.
Correct.
So that way you make it a 4-day deal.
Yeah.
You're sneaky.
Yeah.
You're
It could
sneaky,
be.
Sam.
That's
Anyway.
a good question.
I don't think that you should feel bad. Going back to my original point, don't feel bad about not being able to remember it. I almost texted you this morning. I don't remember our weekend. I almost texted you that, but then it started coming into play. Oh, right, Friday, Mom. And then Saturday, we had Stuart's party. It was like we ate tacos with family and friends. It was sweet, and then we gave Phoebe her moment with him because he's going away. He's been like 3 or 4 hours away. And they have spent a lot of time together this summer. But he's starting, college, an aviation program.
Well, that's good. He can always fly home.
That's what he's told her, I think.
I think I made the classic mistake of everything else. I had a lot of other things going on, as you know. And so when we were stopping to take breaks, which were great, I'm glad that I did those. I immediately became refocused on what I needed to get done.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I got lost in was the to-do list that didn't wind up getting all done, unfortunately. But
yeah, I hate that. But it's because we broke it up. You didn't
But it
work
was nice,
the whole
doesn't it? Yeah.
time. I was finishing up a true crime documentary that I was watching, and he jumped in on episode 5.
I
okay.
had just woken up. You were watching that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, but it was one that was, the storytelling was thorough enough that I didn't have to pause it and say, well, this is why she's saying this. He jumped right in.
Here's the thing on those.
Yes.
Those kind of, it doesn't matter. It's history. I can Google it. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
know.
If I'm interested enough to watch it, then I will. But I'm not going to sit here waiting for a spoiler for something that's already happened and it's been well publicized. So
You didn't have to sit there with me. I enjoyed watching all episodes of that because I wanted the end. I didn't want to Google it.
Which one was it?
It was the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, that little girl who disappeared from Portugal. And I was pretty sure I knew that there was no resolution to that case, but I still watched all of the episodes.
Sure.
Because there's so much more to know and boy, did the media really give the world a raw deal and some really incorrect facts about that over the years. Horrible.
I just wonder on those kinds of series where it's there's a lot to that story.
Yes.
Because it's still not solved, right?
Correct.
I mean, so it's here it is 20 years later.
Horrible.
There have been all sorts of nuances where the couple, was accused at one point of being all sorts of crazy, twists and turns. But they're still making that a 6-episode, 6-hour series. To me, That's probably stretching it out a little bit further. It's impressive, the little cliffhangers they put at the end.
All right, look.
But it's kind of like, well, okay, this happened in 2004.
Okay,
Oh my God, I got to watch the Google it.
Right, I'm going to give it one more episode, and then I'm Googling.
See, that's the difference between you and me. I wanted the end. I wanted to see every bit of it.
Sit there through the whole thing.
I did. I enjoyed it, and that's okay. But no kidding. I was sitting there watching it, having coffee. He got up. He sat down next to me. I usually would pause it, go, hey, what's up? You know, because I'm watching something, and he sits down. That's the thing. I think other couples probably have that. But here's what's up, Sam.
I can't wait to find out what happens to Pablo Escobar.
Okay.
Can we start over at episode 1?
Okay.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm saying that's me.
I know. We're very different people, especially with entertainment. I'm the TV person in our family. But I did not pause it. I let it go because honestly, he also, Murphy, you need to admit that if it's well done at all, you're going to be glued to it. That's what's so ironic about you not being a person who watches TV. If it's on, you're glued to it like a moth to a flame.
Right.
And so I did not stop and explain anything, but 2 minutes go by and he picks up his phone and I know he's Googling. And then okay.
That's because he's going, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, he's satisfied with, okay. There's no real.
Want to know how it ends?
He didn't try to ruin it for me like that. I knew that there was no real whatever resolution in the case. I just wanted to see the case. Knowing that there's not a resolution, it's not the same thing as digging over all the information and knowing all this stuff. So that's one thing I did this weekend.
You're not going to believe what happened to the Queen at the end of the series. It was really a bummer.
Okay, welcome back to a work week.
I hope she makes it till next season.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.